Hello lovers, welcome to the Butterfly Effect podcast hosted by myself, Lauren Amy. This is for those who are ready to take up space, who are living a soft life loudly and are ready to savor the sweetness in each moment. Here we're going to embrace transformation, the beauty of the in-between and the magic of becoming. So pull up a seat and listen in because life is delicious and it's about goddamn time we eat it up. Oh, what a fantastic start. Okay. Wowzers. Okay, Alexa, stop. As much as I hate to put a pin in Florence and the Machine on a day like today, but we've got to sit down, we've got a podcast to record because, oh my God, I'm seeing Florence and the Machine live tonight. And if you cannot tell, I am thoroughly excited. I can actually barely sit still, honeys. I've been pacing around my flat all morning. I don't really know what to do with myself. I'm so excited. Okay, honeys, welcome in to another episode of the Butterfly Effect podcast. Happy Wellness Wednesday. How are we all feeling? I've just got so much energy. I need to calm it down. Wow. Okay, so, it is of no coincidence to me that I'm seeing Florence and the Machine live tonight on the last day of the Year of the Snake to welcome in the Year of the Horse. And also, I don't care if this is too much information. This is my podcast. I can say whatever I want. On the first day of the Year of the Horse, she's ovulating. Wow! What a time to be alive. What a magical time for me. Wow, this is fantastic. All right, honeys. Okay, what did I want to talk about? So, we are continuing our deep dive into devotion and in spirit of Florence and the Machine, using some of her, her spiritual whimsy and her badassery and her her feminine rage and her audacity. We are channeling this bravery, okay? We are reminding ourselves that actually, you know what's wildly attractive? Emotional courage, all right? And courage looks damn good on you, all right? You are going to wear it like the badass boss bitch that you are, okay? And we're going to let ourselves play with this, all right? A lot of the time I get asked about confidence and how do you build confidence? How do you obtain confidence? Honeys, confidence isn't something you obtain or something that you own. I mean, you can own the moment for sure, but confidence is something you have after you've done something, okay? After you've taken that step out of your comfort zone and shown yourself that respect that you can do the thing that you're setting out to do. That is how you build confidence. Confidence is one of my favorite things to discuss. So we're going to discuss it a little bit more in this week's episode because I want us to remind ourselves that you are all so brave in your own way. You are all so incredibly resilient. I hear many a story about how life has thrown you an absolute curveball. Life is testing you to the absolute max, all right? But you show up time and time again. You continue to show yourself that courage, that commitment to whatever it is you're moving through or moving towards, all right? I can see it so clearly in each and every single one of you. I just need you guys to see it for yourselves, all right? I need you guys to see that confidence already exists within you. Perhaps we're just not yet showing it. We're not yet demonstrating it, okay? So this is the direction that we're taking this episode in. It's not about being brave all the time. Sometimes it's soft and sometimes it's about, again, that commitment, staying even though things feel rough as fuck, alright? In some ways it's easy to look confident. It's easy to mask being confident. It's harder to be open. It's harder to stay soft and keep your heart space open when your heart has been somewhat bruised, okay? That is the level of confidence that I'm talking about. To staying soft, knowing that we don't always have to be strong all the while, that is a strength unlike any other. Okay, that is an act of devotion that we haven't yet touched upon just yet. So Let's go. All this month when I've been talking about devotion, it's a real reminder that self-love, self-respect, it's not just candles and bubble baths and aesthetic routines and a 12-step skincare routine, you know what I mean? Devotion is choosing yourself when it would be far easier to sink and surrender to the shadows, all right? It's saying, I will not abandon myself here. I will not numb out in this moment. I'm going to allow myself to feel every ounce of emotion and sensation that's being presented to me right now. Devotion doesn't mean closing ourselves off, closing off our heart space just because the world tried to make you smaller, tried to dim your light. Is actually saying, no, 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 I'm actually going to shine even brighter. I'm going to continue to be open and soft, even in a world that's determined to make me small and condensed and shriveled, and reminding ourselves of all the brave ways we continue to show that devotion, okay? Reminding ourselves of all the brave ways you are showing up right now, but just owning it even more, okay? Reminding ourselves it's brave to set boundaries. It's brave to walk away from a situation that no longer serves you. It's brave to stay soft. It's brave to try again, brave to love again, right? And I think I'm feeling this particularly potently. We've just had Valentine's Day, right? And I went into London on Valentine's Day. You guys know how last week I was given an opportunity to go to this workshop. You know, I asked for a workshop. I asked for an opportunity to be presented with me. That opportunity then was presented with me. It was handed to me on a plate. I just needed to reach out and take it, okay? I did exactly that, honeys. I reached out, I took it, I went to this workshop, right? And it just so happened to be a Valentine's Day. That wasn't necessarily a conscious thought in my mind, but it was almost like a happy coincidence. And I was looking forward to going around London, being on like public transport and just seeing the acts of love around me, because I know sometimes Valentine's Day can feel really hard because it feels like you're missing out on something. It feels like you're left behind. It feels like, you know, you're not experiencing that love that's being shown all around you, in some ways been rammed down our throats, you know? But what I find really joyous about Valentine's Day, and as I said last week, I love love. What I find really joyous about it is just, again, witnessing these acts of love all around me. Like I'm seeing guys carrying around like helium balloons, like heart balloons, which isn't my kind of thing, but I know there's a girl out there that's about to receive that and she's going to fucking love it, you know? There's guys carrying around flowers, girls holding like flowers. There's so many acts of love around me. And it's, I don't know, it reminds me that like that love is out there. And that excites me. And so as I was thinking about this, as I was walking around London and it was giving me hope. I was thinking to myself, you know what? To have this hopefulness and to have this trust that one day I will also be a recipient of that kind of love, that's a very brave thing to do. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn because, you know, that hopefulness gets challenged a lot of the time. But seeing that love around me, being reminded that that love exists and keeping myself open to the possibility of it is a very brave thing. Staying open when your heart has been bruised is an incredibly brave, powerful thing. And maybe Valentine's Day stirred up some uncomfortable feelings for you. So this is just a reminder that you are brave and that love is on its way to us all. I don't know when. I don't have a magical crystal ball I can whisper into and predict the future, unfortunately. I don't have that kind of power yet. Maybe I'll be able to conjure it one day. Never say never. But again, it's a very brave thing. And another thing I wanted to speak about as well is that over the past few years, I have been able to build this confidence to a certain level, right? I've been able to grow, to take up space, to get to the point where I'm encouraging others to take up space, right? And I see all the ways in which that we are conditioned to keep ourselves small. I've had a few thoughts like run around through my brain. Like sometimes I fear that I am too much for some people, that I'm sometimes too much for even my closest friends, right? Because I have this zest for life. I do like to see the magic in everything, right? And sometimes that rubs people up the wrong way. I get it, right? Sometimes we're not in the right headspace for that. I get it, okay? So there's many ways in which where we're conditioned to kind of tone it down, to be less emotional, to be less ambitious, to be less loud, to be less sensitive. We're just encouraged to be less, all right? And again, it's a very brave thing to say, no, I refuse to make myself less than what I am. I want to be even more. I want to be even more. And as I said, this is something I feel too, especially when it comes to my friendships. And I think I want to speak about this a little bit on social media as well. I think I'm going to do a post or some sort of spoken word thing about it, where, you know, around my friends, sometimes I think I have to shrink myself. I feel pressured to shrink myself because maybe it's a people-pleasing instinct in me that I don't want to make another person feel uncomfortable just because I'm, you know, skipping and frolicking around the gaff all the time. Well, it's not all the time. I do have my down moments for sure. But yeah, I never want to make those closest to me feel uncomfortable. And by me being my full self, I don't want them to feel like less than what they are. Does that make sense? I want everyone to be feeling more, to be reaching for more, to be brave enough to reach for more. And I don't want to be the person that makes other people feel less, you know? That's awful. That's the exact opposite of what I want to be doing, okay? So whilst there's these kind of uncomfortable, I don't know, push and pull barriers that I'm kind of maybe working my way through, weaving my way around, reminding you guys that devotion is taking up space, it's feeling fully, it's staying connected to what matters, and it's keeping your heart space open when it'd be so much easier to armour up, to pile on all these shields, these plates of armour, and barricade ourselves away from emotion, away from opportunity, away from potential, all right? So, lovers, softness is not a weakness. Softness is a rebellion in its own right. Softness is strength in its own right. So, I suppose with the year of the snake coming to a close, it's a closing of a chapter, and it's a closing of a cycle, I guess. And if you're anything like me, honeys, you have probably done a whole lot of shedding recently, a whole lot of releasing just what no longer fits. And I don't think that letting go comes to a complete end as the year of the snake draws to a close. I just think it's been particularly potent around this time. I think letting go is almost like a constant thing. We're always welcoming in, we're always letting go all the while. But perhaps just taking a moment to see, what is it that you have shed this year? What is it that you have released this year? And you know, snakes, when it comes to that shedding of the skin, they don't argue when that skin gets too tight. They don't argue when it's got to that point like, okay, it's time to release another layer. They just do it, all right? So again, taking inspiration from that, as much as we want to fight and resist letting go, perhaps by holding on or resisting it, we make it so much harder for ourselves, right? So even as the year of the snake draws to a close, that releasing, that shedding might still continue. Maybe you're working your way through your own little process, but just start to see who you are, who you could potentially be without that old skin keeping you shriveled up, right? Who could you grow to be, okay? And maybe it's continuing to let go of the old narratives, the old fears, the old versions of you, and not just kind of letting them go and chucking them away like they did matter. They absolutely did matter. Those old versions of you did whatever they could to bring you to this moment, okay? So it's loving them, honoring them as you release them and as you move into this year of the horse. And this year of the horse is a big shift in energy, right? I'm feeling it like rattling through my bones right now. The year of the horse, it's power, it's momentum, it's freedom, it's movement, it's this wild spirit, it's this curiosity, okay? It's like the snake came along and said release, so the horse could come along and say run. You know? But But when I say run, it's not suddenly frantic trying to move in all sorts of different directions. It's aligned momentum, all right? It's courage in action. It's heart open, moving forward, less hiding, more living, okay? Yes, keeping ourselves somewhat closed is protection in some way, but keeping yourself open makes you feel alive. I think that's something I'm going to be discussing quite a bit in practice this week, you know. Yes, there's a time and place for protecting ourselves, but also you are presented with so much opportunity to feel alive. So stunners, what would it look like this year to move through with this open heart and these strong, capable legs to get you there? What if we really tap into that bravery, that confidence that we know that exists within us, and just, again, let it carry you forwards? I just really feel like this year, we are not closing up. We are not shrinking. We are not dimming. We are soft. We are brave. We are moving forwards, and we don't need to know exactly the direction we're moving forwards in. Just know that you are moving forwards in some way, soft step after soft step, okay? And every step you take, again, is a further act of bravery, is a further act of devotion, okay? It's just really seeing it that way. Like I said before, honeys, courage looks so good on you, and that open heart of yours, magnetic. I feel like I'm being reeled in towards you, and I don't even know who's listening, okay? I can just feel that whoever is hearing this right now, whoever is listening to this right now, I know that you have such an open heart and you have such courage, such bravery, such untapped potential. And me speaking this right now and hopefully bringing some sort of uplift, all right, I feel that uplift rise within you, and I too am feeling able to rise. We all rise together, we all grow together. There's an exchange happening across the airwaves here, honeys, as I'm encouraging you to take up space. I feel like you yourself, you listening, you're encouraging me to take up space. And I suppose another thing I want to touch upon when we're talking about being brave and stepping into new opportunities, right? I don't mean you have to chuck yourself into every single thing, right? I don't mean that you have to suddenly say yes to everything and like constantly push yourself out of that comfort zone, because Jesus Christ, that is exhausting. I don't want any burnt out honeys listening to this, all right? But what I do want us to think about is that there's a difference between armour and boundaries, okay? That armour that we have taken the time to slowly peel off, to slowly put to one side, is being replaced by those boundaries. And armour gives this signal like, okay, no one is getting close to me, okay? So don't even think about trying. Boundaries say, okay, you can creep a little bit closer, but here's how, okay? It's on your terms and you get to decide. That's why boundaries exist, right? Again, in asking you to be brave and asking you to stay, to linger, to be committed, to feel, I'm not saying you have to abandon everything that you've ever known and all the work that you've done and abandon your softness and suddenly like leap into everything. It's just refining. It's refining that softness. It's building discernment over time. It's keeping your heart open, but with discernment, okay? And I know we sometimes glamorize bravery as these, I don't know, big cinematic moments, like we're riding a dragon into the pit of hell. I've been listening to too much of the Empyrean series. Also, honeys, side note, if you have not read or listened to the Empyrean series by Rebecca Yarros, please get into it, because my God, that series has had me in a chokehold for months now, and I need book 4 to be released ASAP because I actually can't think about anything else. Anyway, that was a quick little side note. What I mean is bravery isn't always about, I don't know, suddenly roaring into the abyss. Sometimes it's actually thinking, okay, we take a little step back, but we try again. That is so brave. Trying again is so brave. Failing, picking yourself up again, refining, pivoting, trying again is probably like the bravest thing you can do, right? Starting from scratch. One of my favorite things to say to people is that sometimes you have literally just got to let everything burn to the ground and start from scratch again. And there's such a joy in starting from scratch. It's such a joy in being able to build again. define things again, because we're always shifting, we're always growing, we're always kind of shedding this old skin, right? But we're at this point now where we get to redefine this new skin. It's almost like, I don't know, we're in a video game, we're in The Sims. This is a weird metaphor here, but bear with me. But it's like you're creating your Sims avatar now. It's like we get to redefine this new skin. We get to decide how we want to show up and move forwards in this new skin with this new avatar and see what's out there. And there'll be many times throughout this year of the horse, where again, there'll be moments that shake you, there'll be moments that surprise you, there'll be moments that will test that confidence, that bravery, and there'll be moments where you'll be invited to take another step out of that comfort zone, and we might balk at it a little bit, we might take a little step back and we're like, is this the thing that I actually really want? I'm not too sure, am I brave enough to take this? And remind yourself that, yeah, you are. Courage looks so good on you. Emotional courage is perhaps the sexiest thing you can dress yourself in. And I know, trust me, I know, it is easy to stay open. It's easy to be soft when life is good, when everything feels fine and dandy, all right? I know. But the real test is, can we stay open? Can we stay soft, even when life is perhaps less good? Even when things are feeling particularly sticky, can we still stay open then? Can we still trust the process then? And think about all the things that you've been through. Perhaps, again, moments of failure, moments of heartbreak, moments of disappointment, okay? So after a heartbreak, for example, yes, the temptation to close ourselves off is there. And maybe we do close ourselves off for a while. That's okay too. But instead of shutting down completely, can we soften just that little bit? After failing, instead of quitting and packing everything in altogether, can we actually just pause and recalibrate? After perhaps being misunderstood, do you suddenly silence yourself, or actually do you take a moment to just clarify what it is that you mean? I think the biggest example I can offer here in this moment is this past weekend when I was in London and I was seeing all these acts of love around me, and I was just like, you know what? Love is everywhere. Love is the most powerful emotion we can feel. And love is probably the most testing emotion we can feel. But what a joy it is that we can feel it. And even though it's not being sent to me directly, I can see it everywhere. Staying open, staying patient, staying trustful that will one day come my way, that's enough for now. That's enough bravery for now. But what is your example, honey? What is the moments where you have perhaps been thrown a curveball and, the easiest option is to close off, to shut down, to think, okay, no more, I'm gonna completely turn away from this. And how did you, instead of shutting down completely, how did you actually choose to stay open and available to life? That's powerful. That is so powerful. I think the more examples you can give yourselves of moments that you have done exactly that, where you have been brave and committed to staying, committed to feeling, the more evidence you give yourself and the more reassurance you can offer your nervous system, right? Because this courage, this confidence, this bravery, it's not an overnight thing, and your nervous system, if you're being used to fight, flight, freeze, will again balk at this. It'll be like, I'm not sure of this at all, So offer yourself that nervous system reassurance, that safety, and again, gently teach your body, your experience, your nervous system that being open is safe too. And as you continue to move through this, as these mindset shifts continue to land and continue to develop, the more magnetic you are, the more vibrant you become. Like I said, you know what's sexy? Self-awareness. You know what's powerful? Emotional depth. You know what's attractive? Someone who can say, you know what? I was wrong there. I got that wrong. My bad. In all of those instances, you're not performing, you're not pretending, you're not shrinking. You're simply saying, I'm here. I'm here to live life and all that it has to offer. I'm here to feel it all, and I'm ready. Stunners, if you're going to be anything this year, Be brave enough to stay open. All right, honeys, I'm going to leave that there. Courage looks so good on you. Let's get ready to climb up on that horse like that badass bitch that you are, and we ride at dawn, honeys. Let's go. I love you. Go thrive. Mwah. Alright, stunners, thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Butterfly Effect podcast. I hope it has left you feeling suitably inspired. And as always, please don't forget to rate and review, like and subscribe, all those lovely things, as not only does this help the podcast grow, but it also helps us to reach more beautiful souls who need to hear these conversations. And of course, come hang out with me over on Instagram and TikTok at LaurenAmyYD, and follow the pod at butterflyeffect.pod. You can also dive deeper into yoga, meditations, poetry, and so much more with me over on Patreon. Until next time, keep living a soft life loudly because you know you deserve it, and I'll see you in the next episode. Mwah!